Hi everyone, thanks for joining us today. I'm Viviana and I'm here with my business partner Carson Nielsen.
Hey.
We are two team leaders at the Live Realty Group here in Central Alberta.
Thanks, Viv. Today we are going to start discussing halal mortgages, something I didn't even know was really a thing until recently.
I didn't even know they existed either until Trudeau dropped his 2024 federal budget. So
Yeah, I heard somebody get mad at him, but I didn't pay much attention because people are always mad at him.
They are totally mad at him. Okay, so internet trolls are all over the place. They've come out of the woodworks and they're like, this is so racist, blah, blah, blah. It's not racist.
Yeah, I roll my eyes at that because everything's racist
Everything's
nowadays.
racist nowadays. Okay, a halal mortgage is just like a regular traditional mortgage. You put them side by side. They're both the same product. One's just halal.
Okay, so how is it halal?
So the way they package it, the way they document it is different than a traditional mortgage, where a mortgage, by definition, means you're taking out a loan and you're paying back interest.
Okay,
So they can't partake in that.
Sounds a little suspect to me. Like exactly what's the difference here? Like how is it okay? How is it halal?
Okay, so there's 3 different types of halal mortgages, and each of those home purchase plans don't involve actual taking out of a loan and paying back interest.
So I can borrow money for nothing?
You're still paying a fee, right? These financial institutions that are providing these halal mortgages, they're still making money on the purchase, right?
So probably a pretty substantial fee.
In some cases, it's more expensive than a
Interest.
traditional mortgage. Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
I knew the banks weren't giving money away for free.
No. You know what's funny is that these products are actually subject to more tax than a traditional mortgage too.
So
Go figure.
So your fee is going to be probably more than your interest rate, and then you have to pay more taxes on it.
Yes, but those are just the inconveniences of being able to partake in home ownership if you're Muslim.
Okay,
So it's
I'll stop talking now, and you tell us, break down the different types of mortgages and things.
okay, sounds good. So from what I understand from the woman who I talked to about Sharia banking, the mortgage qualification process is pretty much the same. You still have to qualify for a mortgage. They're not going to give you something if you don't have a job or you don't have any savings or anything like that. But there are a couple different ways that you can do this. So once you qualify for a mortgage, there are some companies out there that will basically drive the bus afterwards and get you to home ownership, because they're the companies that will take you, they'll set up bank accounts for you, and they'll make sure that the halal mortgage product is like the whole process is halal.
Okay.
No interest, no whatever. Did you know that some Muslims, or actually I would say most Muslims, I would assume, don't even partake in regular bank accounts?
No, that's crazy.
Because of interest rates
So
and
they
things
just
like that.
carry cash.
Well, yeah.
Or hide cash, I guess.
Maybe. A lot of other people are in the same boat, but it's just that principle of partaking in something that involves interest is like not a no-go. So there are those companies that, like I said, will set up those bank accounts for you and make sure that everything is halal along the way. And then there are 3 different types of halal mortgages. The first, and I am so sorry if I butcher these pronunciations, but Murabaha, which is a cost plus financing. So the financial institution will purchase the home outright, and then for the convenience of having the buyer pay a regular fee for this,
Yep.
they will add their fee on top, or
Okay.
a regular fee, a regular payment for the house. So the bank owns the house, and then the buyer makes the monthly payments for it.
Okay. And then so if the bank owns the house, how does the person who's paying the monthly payments, how do they ever end up owning the house?
They have a set amount of payments.
Yep.
The bank and the buyer know what the fee is on top of the purchase price of the house,
Okay.
right? So cost plus,
So the buyer's name is on title?
yes.
Oh, they just have a structure with a lender
Yeah.
that this is okay, but it's not called interest.
It's not called interest. It's a
fee.
set fee that they know of. It's divided up and it's applied to all the payments monthly.
Okay.
Okay? So no interest there.
Okay.
And then there is Musharaka, and that is a declining partnership joint venture
Okay. So like that's both people buy the house
on title.
and then the guy's making payments and essentially slowly paying out the bank.
Yeah, the equity position of the bank
They're-
declines.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah, exactly, until that buyer owns the entire house.
Right.
And then the third type of mortgage is Ijarah, and that's essentially a rent to own.
Okay.
So
How does that one work?
well, it's not as popular, but the financier or the financial institution buys the home and then leases it back to the owner. So it sounds very much like the Musharaka.
Okay. Yeah,
Okay.
it does sound the same.
It sounds pretty much the same. I think the way that they structure it in terms of your payments is probably slightly different, or maybe the documentation is different, but they sound the same to me.
In the end, I got to say, it sounds exactly the same as a mortgage, just labeled differently.
Yes, it's halal.
Okay.
So that's the huge pro about this, is that yes, it is the same product. It's just packaged a little bit differently, structured differently, so that the intention of that interest payment, like in the time of the Prophet Muhammad, if you were to take out a loan and have interest on it, you would essentially enslave yourself to your creditor.
Okay.
So that's why it's, did we talk about that earlier?
A little bit, yeah.
I might have. So anyways, anyone of the Muslim faith is now able to buy a home.
Okay. So these halal, like, why are people screaming racism? Like, is it just for Muslims, or can anybody get this?
Anybody who's screaming that this is racist and that it's unfair, they think, and haven't obviously done any research on it, they think that it's interest-free. So that a minority community is benefiting and they don't have to pay interest while the rest of Canada does.
Right. But actually, they're probably a little bit
paying
worse.
more. Yeah, they're probably paying more.
So they're paying a premium for a product because that product is not widely available.
Yeah.
Supply and demand, kind of like our housing crisis.
100%, yes. Yeah. And the funny thing is, or I shouldn't say the funny thing is, but I mean, this just comes with the territory, because I'm like me growing up in Surrey, there are a lot of halal places out there. Actually, I shouldn't say a lot of halal places, but my community had more than, I would say, probably your community.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And, these halal mortgages, the amount of financial institutions that provide these halal mortgages, they're few and far between.
Right.
So the demand for these halal mortgages right now outweighs the supply.
Okay.
So you can probably guess from basic economics of supply and demand that
they're paying more.
You're paying more.
Yeah.
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 Then there's some implications for tax as
Right.
well. So one of the huge drawbacks to this is that, like, first-time home buyers aren't eligible for the first-time home buyer credit.
Okay. So that's a negative.
That's a negative. And then there's excessive taxation, really. So it makes me wonder why Trudeau is kind of pushing this product on...
Taxes, that's why.
Yeah,
that's why he's pushing the product. He wants more people broke.
Yep. So Ijarah and Musharaka, both of those products, they consider the financial institution that owns the house. They say that, well, both of these houses continue to vest proprietary interest according to Canadian tax law. So you're going to get double taxed on land transfer tax in those provinces where land transfer tax applies. And then,
I'm sorry. I don't even know what to say about that. Like, just...
So now you can guess capital gains tax.
Oh.
Yeah.
I'm just at a loss for words. Like, don't understand it, because they didn't want to do it because, what did you call it? Not oppressive. That's the wrong word. But the interest rate was what? In Sharia law?
Exploitative.
It's exploitative.
Yeah.
But then getting double taxed twice?
Is exploitative.
Isn't exploitative?
It is. So most of the time, it sounds like the financial institution should be being the one that's being taxed twice, right? On your land transfer tax and then also on your capital gains. So that's one of the main reasons why the Murabaha transaction seems to be the better option. Although Murabaha is subject to HST and GST, and that's sometimes subject twice. So, yeah, disbursements, real estate commissions, appraisals, home inspections, survey costs. I mean, there's HST in those HST provinces. There's GST in the GST provinces.
I take it back. It's not same, but different. It's same, but worse. Yeah.
It really benefits you if you're Muslim.
I guess.
Like, that's
because
kind of your only option.
You can get into your house and you don't have to rent, and you get a permanent residency and all that kind of stuff. So I can see that, yes.
Yeah.
But to me, it's just changing verbiage, changing paperwork. In the end, it's the same thing.
Yep. Oh, did I mention that the deposit that you pay?
It's more?
Is more.
Of course it is.
Yeah. So you're anywhere between 5% to like 35%. I guess.
So it could be more because we're 5 to 20, right?
On a traditional mortgage, you could be paying more anyways, depending on your credit situation. So,
right.
I mean, it really isn't that much of a difference, I guess. But, you know, on paper, it looks a little bit worse. So anyway, I was on the Global Law Experts website, and they're tax lawyers out of Ontario. But they had some tips. So if you are interested in a halal mortgage, number one, just make sure that the Islamic financial institution that you pick hasn't crafted the agreement to shift the tax burden onto you as the buyer, because that can happen. Number two, make sure to pay any incurred taxes to the CRA to avoid penalties for noncompliance. Number three, if you're going to choose any product, the Murabaha is probably the top pick because it's less complicated.
That one's less complicated? I thought the one where you're both owners and then it's a depreciating
Musharaka?
Declining interest on the property would have been the simple one.
What if you have to go to sell your house? What if you have...
Okay, fair enough.
Right? What if you
Too
have
many moving
renters in
parts.
place?
Yeah.
What if?
Right.
So maybe it's less beneficial to have somebody else on title if you're the person who's going to be in there, right?
Yeah.
And then, number four, obviously they're tax lawyers. They said engage with the tax lawyer before you decide to transact with halal mortgages, just to make sure that there's no surprises.
Right.
But this is a pretty cool thing, especially if you're Muslim.
I guess so, yeah.
Yeah. I don't know that it's going to benefit a lot of other people.
No, I'm picking a regular mortgage.
Yeah. And we already have, vendor takebacks in place. So that's very akin to what this is too. And you really don't really have to worry about the tax implications, I guess. What do you guys think?
Any way you look at it, the bank man wins.
Yeah.
And apparently the tax man.
The tax man definitely comes out on top on this one, for sure.
I don't know what to say. I'm glad that there's more ability for people to buy houses. That's a great thing, because it's not a lot of people can buy them, and so the more people we can, the better off they are. But to dress it up and say that it's less exploitive, I don't know that I agree with that. But I'm not practicing in Muslim or Sharia law, so I guess to each their own.
Yes. If this was my only option, I would have to pay more.
You have no choice.
Yeah, I would just be paying more. That's it.
Yep.
And I'd be okay with that.
Well, at least there's the option for them.
Yes.
In the end, that's what matters.
Yeah.
And everybody gets to make their decision on how they proceed in life.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Thanks for watching, guys. We'll see you on the next one.
Bye.